Security Guard Training Course, Section 3, Basic Security Procedures. Table of Contents. 1. Conducting patrols. 2. Skateboarders. 3. Homeless persons. 4. Surveillance. 5. Access control. 6. Crowd control. 7. Traffic control. 8. Alcohol and drugs. Conducting patrols. While on duty, you will frequently be asked to patrol specific areas. There are 12 basic purposes for patrols that are as follows. 1. Prevent potential attacks. 2. Detect criminal behavior. 3. Prevent criminal behavior. 4. Ensure compliance with property policies. 5. Raise awareness to potential security issues. 6. Provide customer service. 7. Respond to tenant or customer concerns. 8. Assess, report, and record incidents. 9. Investigate incidents as directed. 10. Test and inspect the physical security systems. 11. Provide other services as requested. 12. Respond to emergencies. Conducting patrols continued. 1. Prevent potential accidents. Stay alert to any obstacles or hazards in your area. These may include puddles of water on the floor, overturned or broken carpets and tiles, broken doors, spills or leaks on the ground, and potential fire hazards. In addition, you should be on the lookout for children climbing railings, running through hallways, riding escalator handrails, or any other potentially dangerous activity. To the right is a real video filmed by teenagers engaging in potentially dangerous activity inside a retail mall in Toronto. Conducting patrols continued. 2. Detect criminal behavior. While patrolling areas of a property, you will always be observing for criminal or prohibited behavior such as trespassing, shoplifting, causing a disturbance, assault, or breaking and entering. Number 3. Prevent criminal behavior. Simply being visible to the public is a great deterrent. A security guard's presence alone is enough to discourage most opportunistic criminal behavior. Remain standing at all times so people can see that you are prepared to act if and when needed. 4. Ensure compliance with property policies. Be aware of tenants who are in violation of their leasing agreements by opening or closing their stores too early or too late, or by playing music too loudly. Enforce property policies and regulations, such as prohibited parking areas and non-smoking areas. Many municipal bylaws now provide regulations for non-smoking areas near public buildings. Conducting patrols continued. Number 5. Raise awareness to potential security issues. Point out broken lights, exposed wires, flammable materials, blocked fire exits, and/or vulnerable merchandise. Communicate with tenants and visitors and inform them if any of these hazards are observed during your patrols. Number 6. Provide customer service. Help parents move a stroller up or down an escalator. Volunteer to provide directions or guide people to their desired location, and provide tourists with information about the property or other points of interest in the city. Number 7. Respond to tenant or customer concerns. A child and parent may have become separated, an elderly person may appear disoriented, or a tenant may report a suspicious person. There are virtually endless possible issues that may suddenly arise that a security guard will have to deal with. Conducting patrols continued. Number 8. Assess, report, and record incidents. Upon arriving at the scene of an incident, assess the gravity of the situation, determine who must be called to resolve it, and document it in both your memo book and a shift report at the end of your shift. Proper report writing is an essential skill of a security guard and will be covered in another section of this course. Number 9. Investigate incidents as directed. You may be dispatched to investigate potential incidents on your property, such as activated alarms, broken water main, reports of criminal activity, tenant complaint, slip and fall, or vehicular accident. Conducting patrols continued. Number 10. Test and inspect the physical security systems. It is common for security guards to be responsible for conducting open-up and lock-up of physical doors and entrances to a property. In addition, you may be asked to test CCTV systems and emergency exits. Number 11. Provide other services as requested. Your manager or supervisor may ask you to conduct various tasks such as deliver literature to tenants, conduct surveys of visitors, visit individual tenants, deliver rent checks, or provide escorts through parking garages. Number 12. Respond to emergencies. While on duty, you may be expected to deal with unexpected emergencies that may suddenly occur. Some examples of these include fire or bomb threats, collapsed roof, panicked crowd, or medical emergency. Shift handover. When handing over a shift to your relief, always keep these things in mind. Brief them on any major incidents that occurred during your shift. Record information if a pass card or radio was handed over. If passing over keys, record the number of keys on the ring. Advise them of any events or deliveries that may occur during the next shift. Skateboarders. During the warmer months, it is common for skateboarders to congregate and skate on private property and use ramps, steps, and benches to do tricks on. Many properties prohibit these activities from taking place, and a security guard may be responsible for dealing with the situation. Remember, if they are on private property, they are required by law to leave the property when asked to do so. Be friendly with your approach and politely ask the skateboarders to leave the property. Explain to them that it is a prohibited activity and their skateboards will damage the property when they do tricks. Never engage in a confrontational or aggressive situation unless you have backup to assist you. You do have legal authority to arrest a skateboarder who refuses to leave, but always advise your immediate supervisor before you make that decision. If warranted, call the local police for assistance dealing with the skateboarders. Homeless persons. Over the course of your duties, you may be required to remove homeless people or vagrants from the property. It is important to always use extreme caution when dealing with these situations. Some things to keep in mind. If available, ask for another security unit to assist you. For personal safety reasons, always wear gloves when dealing with a vagrant. Remember that some vagrants will suffer from mild to severe mental illness. Although they may seem compliant at first, some vagrants can suddenly become aggressive and hostile. Always be prepared for this sudden aggression. Surveillance. Also known as visual or fixed patrols with the assistance of technology, surveillance enables a guard to remain stationary but keep a constant watch over a specific area. For example, an entrance or exit point may be kept under continual observation, or an entire complex could be kept under guard with the assistance of mirrors, security cameras, and fences. CCTV, closed-circuit television. Many properties are now equipped with the CCTV camera systems to help monitor movement and detect criminal activity. Over recent years, technology has made installing camera systems very affordable, and almost every business now has at least one basic camera system installed on their property. Modern CCTV systems provide advanced features such as color, high definition, live feeds, digital recording, and PTZ functionality. All of these features will be explained in the following slides. A dome camera. This is one of the most common types of security cameras. CCTV features. Color. All new cameras that are installed operate in full color. Black and white cameras are slowly being phased out. Quality. Technology has allowed for cameras to provide high-definition feeds. Live feed. Cameras display live feeds to a central monitoring station that a security guard can use to monitor the movement of people on the property. Digital Video Recorder, DVR. DVR systems automatically record all data captured by security cameras to a hard drive. This allows security guards to view footage from days earlier to investigate an incident. Police frequently request footage of incidents for evidence and court purposes. Pan, Tilt, Zoom, PTZ. New cameras can be installed to enable pan, tilt, and zoom functionality. This allows a security guard to move the camera in different directions and zoom in for a closer view. Access control. Access control mechanisms control the entry and exit of people onto the property or into specific areas of the property. There are many devices available for use as access control mechanisms, including card readers, touch keys, ID cards, badges, and a fingerprint ID. In smaller worksites, a security guard may be able to recognize individuals. This method of access control, while useful, is limited by the memory of the individual security guard. One guard may be able to remember a large number of faces, while the next may be unable to recall more than a few. Furthermore, the larger the number of people given access, the greater the likelihood that a mistake will be made and someone that should not be given access to the premises will be able to slip inside. The use of photo badges may supplement the effectiveness of this method of access control. Crowd control. When disturbances occur, it becomes the responsibility of the police, and in some cases, that of a security guard, to control a crowd or restore order. Crowds that have been allowed to get out of hand through inadequate supervision, in spite of the best efforts by guards to prevent a disturbance, make the task of restoring order or protecting life and or property a tremendous responsibility. Any efforts to restore the peace or to control the situation should be made with several things in mind. Risk to life and or property whether or not action is taken. Personal safety of the security guard. Instructions of the guard's supervisor or the client. Risks posed by leaving the post. Availability of support or backup. Urgency of the situation. Development of tactics or plans for dealing with the situation. Types of crowds. Acquisitive crowd. The members of an acquisitive crowd are motivated by the desire to get or acquire something. It is best illustrated by a crowd of shoppers seeking items in short supply or at an auction sale. They have no leaders, little in common, and each member is concerned with his or her own best interest. Expressive crowd. In this type of crowd, the members gather to express their feelings, such as at a protest or political rally. Expressive crowds are usually peaceful and pose no risk to public safety. However, security guards must monitor the situation carefully and report any sudden changes in behavior or unexpected aggression. Spectator crowd. This crowd gathers to watch out of interest, curiosity, instruction, or entertainment. It is usually well-behaved and peaceful. However, larger crowds at events, such as concerts or sports games, may become aggressive and rowdy very quickly. This is compounded by the fact that many of these events encourage the consumption of alcohol. Types of crowds continued. Sightseer crowd. This type of crowd gathers almost spontaneously at the scene of a fire, accident, or disaster. The members of this crowd are usually curious bystanders who are willing to assist. However, most people will just stand and stare at the event that took place. In some cases, members of the crowd who attempt to help are actually making the situation worse. Hostile crowd. Crowds of this nature are generally motivated by feelings of hate and fear to the extent that they are prepared to fight for what they want. The most prominent types are strikers or political demonstrations. Hostile crowds may have leaders who direct and maintain a high degree of hostility in their followers. Security guards must use extreme caution when dealing with a crowd that has the potential to become hostile. Traffic control. The primary goal of traffic control is to alleviate or prevent congestion for both vehicles and pedestrians in a safe and efficient manner. While this function may seem to be fairly simple, a great many variables affect the ability to perform this duty well. Some of the factors that impact safety and performance in the execution of these duties are the weather, the amount and nature of the traffic flow, the equipment provided, and the clothing worn by the security guard. Here are some examples of situations that require traffic control. Motor vehicle collisions, fallen electrical wires or tree branches, when directed to do so by police, where there is a malfunction of traffic lights, fires, explosions, and other similar situations of crisis, when directed to do so by an employer or client. Congestion in parking lots at events such as sports or concerts. Protection of crime scenes until arrival of police. Appropriate equipment. All areas of Canada will experience severe weather throughout the year. Whether a snowstorm, heavy rain, fog, or extreme cold alerts, a security guard conducting traffic control will have to endure the elements while maintaining a safe roadway for pedestrians and motorists. It is important that you are dressed properly for the weather conditions you're working in. Contact your supervisor if you feel that you are improperly dressed for your shift. Similarly, provincial legislation requires that workers conducting traffic control wear appropriate safety equipment. Examples of a safety equipment include reflective vest, flashlight, whistle, red baton, weather-appropriate clothing, hard hat for construction sites. Alcohol drugs overview. Security guards will occasionally encounter people who are under the influence of alcohol or drugs. This is especially true for guards that work in the special event or nightclub industries. It is important to recognize the signs of intoxication and take all necessary precautions when dealing with those under the influence. Generally, the persons under the influence who are acting aggressive or causing a disturbance should be removed from the event or property. If the person is a danger to themselves or others, the police should be contacted. Furthermore, always do your best to ensure everyone has a safe ride home and discourage people from drinking and driving. Number 1, alcohol. Number 2, drinking and driving. 3, marijuana. 4, cocaine. 5, ecstasy. 6, heroin. 7, drug paraphernalia. Number 1, alcohol. Drug type, depressant. Other names, booze, beer, liquor, wine. Consumed orally. Effects, addiction, alcoholism, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, hangovers, slurred speech, disturbed sleep, impaired motor skills, violent behavior, fetal alcohol syndrome, respiratory depression, and death with high doses. Legal drinking age. The legal drinking age in Ontario is 19 years of age. However, anyone who appears under the age of 25 should be prepared to show his or her ID. Establishments that are caught serving alcohol to minors will risk losing their license to sell alcohol to the public. Any minors caught in possession of alcohol should be ejected from the establishment immediately. In certain cases, it may also be appropriate to advise the police of the incident. Always inform your supervisor before making a decision. Drinking and driving. Impaired driving is one of the biggest threats to the personal safety of the average Ontario citizen. Every week, someone in Ontario is seriously injured due to the actions of an impaired driver. Police forces and governments have recognized this, and courts are becoming stricter when dealing with offenders. Security guards must always take reasonable precautions to ensure patrons of events find a safe ride home. If an impaired individual attempts to drive, take reasonable measures to prevent them from entering the vehicle. If the person persists, call 911 immediately and make a note of the direction traveled if they entered the vehicle. BAC, blood alcohol content. The legal limit is 0.08% in Canada. Motor vehicle collision. In the event of a motor vehicle collision, record as much information as possible, including name, address, and workplace of each driver, time, date, and exact location of the accident, registration numbers, makes, and years of vehicles, insurance company details, information of witnesses, description of accident and damage, details of any injuries and what action was taken, any conditions that may have contributed to the accident, for example, an emergency, weather, road conditions, or construction. Marijuana. Other names: weed, pot, reefer, grass, dope, ganja, herb, 420. Consumed, smoked or digested. Effects: bloodshot eyes, dry mouth, impaired or reduced comprehension, altered sense of time, reduced ability to perform tasks requiring concentration and coordination, such as driving a car, paranoia, intense anxiety attacks, altered cognition, making acquisition of new information difficult, impairments in learning, memory, perception, and judgment, difficulty speaking, listening effectively, thinking, retaining knowledge, problem solving. Marijuana is an illegal drug in all of Canada, except for those with medicinal marijuana prescriptions. Cocaine. Drug type stimulant. Other names: coke, snow, nose candy, flake, blow, big C, white. Consumed, snorted, or injected. Effects: addiction, pupil dilation, elevated blood pressure and heart rate, increased respiratory rate, seizures, heart attack, insomnia, anxiety, restlessness, irritability, and increased body temperature. Ecstasy. Drug type stimulant. Other names: E, X, XTC, Atom, MDMA. Consumed orally. Effects: psychiatric disturbances, including panic, anxiety, depression, and paranoia, muscle tension, nausea, blurred vision, sweating, increased heart rate, tremors, hallucinations, tainting, chills, sleep problems, and reduced appetite. Pills come in different colors and patterns. Heroin. Drug type opiate. Other names: H, smack, horse, mud, brown, sugar. Consumed, injected, smoked, or orally. Effects: addiction, slurred speech, slow gait, constricted pupils, droopy eyelids, impaired night vision, nodding off, respiratory depression or failure, dry itching skin and skin infections, increased risk of exposure to HIV, hepatitis, and other infectious diseases if injected. Drug paraphernalia: grinders, syringe, rolling paper, pipe. End of Section 3. Basic Security Procedures.